What's up? This is True Justice One. I wanted to go ahead today and present um, uh, the vials out of Revelations from the Holy Bible. Um, I in my last video, I went ahead and explained on the seven trumps and uh, um, going into in depth and their meaning. Okay, so now I want to go into the vials and uh, the vials of wrath are after the seven trumpets. Okay, um, uh, and it starts in Revelations chapter 15. Okay. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, seven angels having the seven last plagues for them is filled up with the wrath of God. So these aren't good things. The vials of wrath aren't good things. Okay. Um, Two, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, and thy judgments are made manifest. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened. And the seven angels came out of the temple, having the seven plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. And one of the four beasts gave unto the seven angels seven golden vials full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power, and no man was able to enter into the temple till the seven plagues of the seven angels were fulfilled. 16. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of wrath of God upon the earth. Okay? Um, so the seven angels um, are having these seven plagues, which are the wrath of God. Okay? And obviously, being in context, um, let me go ahead and let me read it first. 16:2, and the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Okay, um, so in context, in the seven trumpets, which are before these seven vials. Okay, um, in the trumpets, it's basically the last chance for mankind to have salvation with the Most High, and it's the tribulation for all believers. And all of us, all the believers, are going to go through it. All the Christians, all the Israelites that believe in the Creator's Son, um, everybody, anybody that believes in the Creator's Son, anybody who believes in Christ and believes He died on the cross for their sins, your sins will get forgiven. Okay, when you physically die and you're in heaven and you're in that line to be judged, it's gonna feel good to know that the creator's son is real, and he's gonna be the one representing you in court because you represented him. Okay, um, but the seven vials of wrath. My point is, seven vials of wrath. Uh, have the mark of the beast, and the mark of the beast is like the main objective. Okay, so the mark of the beast, the people that reject the mark, okay, these are people to be focused on. The people that reject the mark of the beast, if you're studying Revelations, they're to be focused on, because it talks about them in 16, and it talks about them in the end. I think it's in 20, but so it's important to know who they are. Okay, um, but the first plague that I just read, the vials of wrath, which are after the trumpets, okay? The first one is a punishment for the people that got the mark of the beast, okay? The seven trumpets, which are before the wrath, it's about the mark of the beast. So obviously, the mark of the beast is not a good thing. Okay, don't get don't get anything put in your right hand. Don't get anything put in your forehead. Okay. 14:9. If you can remember 14:9. Um, Revelations chapter 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up. This is after you physically die and you're in the spirit. You get a spiritual body and you get to live forever, you guys. But either you're going to live forever in hell, burning in the lake of fire, or you're going to live forever in heaven under the most high rule. There's no in between. There's no other choices. There's no other realms. It's just those two options. It doesn't matter what the people around us, if they're confused or not. It's going to be irrelevant. Everybody's headed for that judgment line, and everybody's life, your life, will be judged. People can act like it's not real. It doesn't mean that that ground isn't there. If you're falling off a cliff, that ground's still going to be there. It doesn't matter if you try to act like the ground's not there. You guys are going to still hit smack into that ground. Okay, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receive the mark of his name. Okay, so being in context, this mark of the beast, it's obviously a very bad thing. If you're gonna burn forever and ascendeth forever, and it says the lamb's gonna wash this, that's Christ. So if you have Christ, this goes for you too, because he's watching this. You better not get that mark of the beast, anything in your right hand or in your forehead. Why? You know what I mean? It's very obviously what the mark is. I mean, why should someone be cutting you open and putting something in your hand or in your forehead? Okay, and we've been talking about this, you guys, for years and years, and that RFID chip is out. Okay, so make no mistakes. Okay, um, but a great sore grows on these people in this first vial of wrath. A sore, a grievous, um, uh, a grievous sore uh, breaks out uh, on their arm. Okay. Um, Sorry, I'm looking for it. And the first went out and poured out the vial of wrath upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast. So that's the first vial of wrath. They get the first ones get punished are the people that get something in their right hand or in their forehead, who get the mark of the beast. You guys are the first ones to get punished when the seven vials. They're going to try to get people to get the mark of the beast, because that's going to be their last chance at revenge at the Most High. So we got to really spread the gospel during the seven trumpets. We really got to teach the law and the Ten Commandments, and we really got to teach about end time prophecy, and so people know what's happening next, because it's to be revealed. Okay. Um, let's move on to the second one. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. Okay, so the second plague is poured, and the whole sea becomes blood, and everything dies. Every man dies. Everything in the sea dies. This isn't a good thing on the earth. Okay, and the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and the fountains of waters, and they became blood. So basically, the whole world is becoming blood. Okay. Um, you know, there's no drinkable water. There's no fish life. Basically, people on this earth are going to be starving at that point. Okay. And I heard in the angel of the water say, "Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and wast and shalt be, because thou hast judged us. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy." Because they killed all the prophets in the Bible. They're going to kill, because this is after the seventh trump. The seventh trump is when it goes down. And if you to read Revelations, okay, even if some people believe 1,000 years is going to be in the spirit. Some people believe 1,000 years is going to be here on earth after all this is going down. No matter how you guys cut it, the seven trumps in Revelations would be the Goldilocks area of Revelations. Okay, that's where you want to be, and that's where we're at right now. That time's coming up. It's a good chance for people to represent and get in good with the Most High by planting your feet, okay, in law, planting your feet in the gospel, planting your feet in this prophecy, okay, because the people who believe in this prophecy don't get the mark, and the people that don't get the mark get to reign with Christ 1,000 years, okay. So other people are going to be sleeping in the grave for 1,000 years. You're going to be like up, like working with the king, okay, uh, with people, okay, righteously, okay. 500 years from now, that chance is not going to be available, okay, no more, okay. This is the Goldilocks area. This is when you have a chance to refuse the mark. They're going to be like, you want food? We're going to lock you out of the system. We're going to make you starve. No gas, you guys. Like I tell you, no gas, no food from the stores. Okay, you go into the wilderness. You go into the wilderness, pick berries or something like that. But you're not going to be able to go into any stores or restaurants or anything like that without that mark, because uh, the story is that during these seven trumps, that's when the Satan is cast down here on earth, and his demons with him, with us here on this earth. And they're going to be the one in the backdrop enforcing this mark. And they're going to be the ones lining themselves up with all these Illuminati and these double cults to, to get us. That's why these families are in charge, is because they want them in charge, so that when this goes down, everything's going to be in order. That's what all these wars are about, is them getting that control, getting ready for that day. Because there's going to be a great war between, Satan and the Most High. That's a thing. It's here in Revelations. There's going to be a war between Israelites and the rest of the world. It's here in the Revelations. It's a prophet. People try to say, oh, all you believers are just waiting for Christ. No, not all believers. Some believers actually believe in prophecy of the Holy Word, and they know it's coming. Okay? They know that they got to fulfill these prophecies. The whole book. Everything that hasn't happened yet, from the Old to the New Testament, prophecy-wise, everything that hasn't happened is going to happen. Let's go ahead and move on to the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch man with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which hath power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory. Okay? So that's heat. Now, that's a prophecy. These vials, these are prophecies of something that's going to happen in the future. The seven trumpets before the vials, that's a prophecy of what's going to happen in our future. Okay? It says the sun, so it says scorch, so obviously the heat gets turned up in the future. All right, it's already getting hot, so who can imagine how it would be if it got hotter, right? All right, 10. 16:10 and Revelations. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed at their tongues for pain. The beast and his kingdom. Now, in the trumpets, which are before the vials, there's a first beast and there's a second beast. Okay, the second beast endorses and pushes for the first beast. When Satan comes down here on earth, he's going to be pushing the first beast. Okay, in all of Revelations, you would think Satan's the nemesis. No, it's actually the first beast is the nemesis, and he's the one that gets thrown into the lake of fire first. So this is a trip, right? Uh, all the demons that fall down and start ruling and starting pushing the trying to force the mark of the beast, they're going to be pushing the first beast. He's going to be their puppet guy. He's going to be their, you know what I'm saying, their face. Okay. He's trying to get people to bow down to him. He's trying to get people to get the mark. Okay. Um, he's going for everybody. Okay. They're fallen angels. These are fallen demons. You got to believe this is real, and you got to know this is coming, because how are you going to reign that 1,000 years? Okay. Let me read that. Revelations chapter 20 verses 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and they which had not worshipped the beast. Okay, so those are two things. And were beheaded for the witness of Jesus. So when Jesus came, after Jesus died, there's a whole push, okay, for that Christ doctrine, that Peter doctrine, right? There was a whole push for that, you guys, for thousands of years, okay? Um, and they were slaughtered for that. Those people were killed for pushing that. And for the word of God, okay? Um, uh, in which were not worshipped the beast. So now we're talking about, if you're saying the beast, you know, we're talking about Revelations now. So we know you're definitely, because that hasn't happened yet. So we know that we're talking about the people that, you know, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Okay. Uh, Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Okay? And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out and deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. This is why I'm saying there's still going to be here people physically on the earth after all these plays go down. I believe it's a technological war. Um, um, but in space, I believe that it's going to be here on Earth and in space. I believe that's going to be a technological war. I believe there's a lot more out there than we know. I believe there's a lot more technology out there than we know. I believe there's a lot more undercover bases out there than we know. And we were just shown the just the skin of what's actually going on out. You know, when we look at what we look at on the media when it comes to these things. Okay. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast and his kingdom. Okay, so that's specific. That's the beast in his kingdom. Okay, so that's the fifth vial of wrath. And blaspheme the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. These are demons. These aren't of us. These aren't our people. These people being punished here, these are the non-believers. These are people that are left over. These are the people. This is who they're talking about. Okay. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up. That's very specific. One of the prophecies in this Bible was that great river Euphrates will be dried up in chapter 16, verse 12. And that's the sixth vial of God's wrath. That the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Okay? So that's talking about war. That's talking about more war. That's a prophetic word right there about a war in the future, to where when the Euphrates River dries up, it's going to make it to where people can go across the Euphrates River. And obviously, there's something's going to go down, and the water thereof was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Okay. So those are three different people: Satan, the first beast, and the second beast. Now, for they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to battle of that great day of God Almighty. Okay, like I said, the big war I was telling you about. And behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So, man, like I always tell you guys, man, you got to be mentally fit. You can never give up the fight. You can never give up the mental fight of having full control of your mind. And he gathereth them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. So I know you guys heard of Armageddon, that great war. Okay, it's not going to be much of a war. You know, when you read it, it's not much of a war. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before God, to give unto her the cup of wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blaspheming God because of the plague of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceedingly great. 17. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sit upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones, pearls, having a golden cup in her hand of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery of Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said to me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Okay, remember you guys in trumpets, right? The guy comes down from heaven, right? It's the first one to shower. The second one's Atlantic. Second one's a big hit in the Pacific, and the third one comes down and it's bright too, but it's not something that's going to hit an Earth. It's actually a person that opens up this pit, and that's when the first beast comes out of that pit. Continuing on, now we're talking about fast forwarding all the way back, all the way forward into the vials. The last vial, the beast thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. So yeah, man, it's gonna be look ridiculous to us. All these people getting the mark of the beast after the believers been telling them for years that it's gonna be right hand or in their forehead, because it's gonna be an option, and the demons are in control of it. So everybody gets the option: get this in your right hand or in your forehead, right, or not. The repercussions, all that stuff, that's going to be on your heart later. But you're going to have a choice: either get this mark in your right hand or in your forehead, or not. You're going to have a choice. All right. The people that I'm sure, oh, you could connect to the internet and you can slide it through, right through the supermarket. You only got to do anything. You just walk out with your groceries. They were like, you get this RFID chip, they're gonna if you in your right hand or in your forehead, whatever it is. Which like I said, I believe everybody's having a prophetic dream and people, the Most High say, people are gonna have dreams about this, and people saying are having dreams that it's the RFID chip, and we're talking about hundreds of people having this dream. So yeah, I think it's the RFID chip, but uh, you don't want to get this chip because you're going to burn forever and ever, and no food is going to be worth it. Um, if you have kids, it's not going to be worth it to get the mark and try to get them food. It's not going to be worth it because you're damning yourself to hell, and you're going to be pretty much damning them to hell. Like, no, man, I don't want anything in my right hand or in their forehead. They're gonna be like, no, it has to be in your right hand or in your forehead. That's the clue right there. Something weird's going on, right? And that the believers might be right about this prophecy, right? That's how you test them, right? Um, Continuing. Uh, when they beheld the beast that was and not and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are seven kings, five are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the seven, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. It's just basically going over on how it works when after Satan and his minions are cast down here on earth. 14, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Okay, so this is like code breaking right here. That's how you know Revelations is written as um, something to be revealed. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is great, is Solace is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Okay, so yeah, that's just basically going over on how the infrastructure of uh, uh, um, things are going to be ruled when Satan and his demons come down here. Um, but yeah, man, that's pretty much the revelations uh, on the vials of wrath. Uh, on my next video, I'm gonna go ahead and continue. I'm gonna start on the chapter 18 in Revelations, and we're gonna go ahead and go through 19 and 20 because I noticed a lot of people on YouTube are having problems um, breaking that down. As long as it's in context, and fits the rest of Revelations, it should be seen, with clarity, But yeah, man, all glory to the Most High Yah. All right, and don't forget, you guys, like, share, and subscribe, and to share the message on Revelations. Okay, all right. Talk to you guys later. Shalom. Bye.